Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. And I'm excited to finally meet with Ian Scott, who's in Scotland today. This is his home country. And I'm looking to talk to him about his company called Bucket List Scotland. So if you're interested in small tours to Scotland, Ian is our guy. So I'm going to ask Ian again because he was sharing how this whole thing started, because I think that's always the most interesting thing. People always ask me how I got started. It was kind of an extension of just having a love of going and photographing. So, how did it start for you, Ian?
Homesickness. I was uh,
Homesick.
I was living abroad. First of all, hello everybody, and I hope I can make this interesting for you. But yeah, I started in the travel business a few years ago, but five years ago, when I was in the USA, living of all places in Texas, and I was asked to be a guide um, in Scotland for a group of ladies. Now, I didn't realize the group was going to be quite as big as 26, which made me panic a little bit. But I managed to get through the experience with lots of laughs from both sides. And that was the start of my tour guiding interest and now business. 26 ladies from Colorado coming to Scotland to learn how people used to knit way back in the day. And I even arranged for them to see some sheep because I couldn't believe this. These ladies from Colorado, a lot of them very rarely saw sheep. And if there's one thing we've got lots of in this country, it's sheep.
Right. And I would think
But
if
it
they're
went well. Yeah, it went well. It went that well that I come back to Scotland to live 6 months later, and I've been in the tour guiding business since then. I
so what do
didn't
you
expect I didn't expect 2 years of no business, mind you, in the pandemic. So that shocked us all. But we're now back up and running and ready to welcome anybody to Scotland.
so what would you say is your most popular tour? Because I know you'll put together anything, but the one that
Yeah.
you most are most passionate about.
Question. Well, my company is called Bucket List Scotland, which I thought was quite good. I didn't come up with that name. That was my son who come up with that
Oh,
title. He's my IT go-to person. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to get any business. So Bucket List Scotland is, as it sounds, I create bespoke itineraries for anybody who wants to come. I've always wanted to come to Scotland and see certain things or do certain things. If it's legal and if I can organise it, I'll do my best to organise it. So far, all my groups have been two people, even one person, up to six.
okay.
If four people wanted to come and let me show them around, then we can hire a suitable vehicle. But the most popular trip, this is a strange one. I live near Glasgow, which
Okay.
is Scotland's largest city, although it's not the capital. Some place called Edinburgh is the capital. I don't know why, but Edinburgh is the capital. I'm only kidding. There's rivalry between the two cities. And my most popular tour is a walking tour of Glasgow, which
Wow.
can either last half a day or a full day. And I've found that, to my surprise, very popular because Glasgow is a blue collar industrial city with a reputation for being not the prettiest, but uh, Glaswegian, as people from Glasgow call Glaswegian, um, they do have a good sense of humour. To be honest, they needed a good sense of humour. They lived in Glasgow through the industrial revolution and even up to recently. So that's more popular than I thought it was. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, I
yeah,
would have guessed something else like whiskey or I don't know.
yeah.
Or Outlander. Do you get
Oh,
requests for
oh
Outlander?
my goodness me, Outlander! Thank the Lord for Outlander. I think I'm not boasting here, April, but I think I was the first tour guide to offer Outlander type attractions in Scotland. And I'm going to prove it to you. I found this the other day. Can you see it?
Yes. Oh, I
The
can.
picture you'll recognise Claire with her clothes on. And this was created by my son for me.
Wow. Oh, it's beautiful.
2018, offering Outlander tours. And the only people who hadn't heard of Outlander back then were people who lived in deepest, darkest Africa or the jungles of the Amazon, and people from Scotland, because nobody had access to it.
Oh,
Although I knew that Outlander was big and going to get even bigger in the States. So that it's still popular, but I've got a feeling it's peaked.
yes. I do.
That's my feeling.
Yeah, that is my feeling
But
too.
it was good. It was good while it lasted.
Well, I'll
My
be
claim.
honest. I'll be honest. I couldn't quite. It's like the scenery and everything was beautiful. The whole
Yeah,
thing, but it's like the story kept getting more brutal and violent. I'm like, okay, I
yeah.
can't see any more of this violence. This is too.
Yes, it was violent times, but it was a great advert for Scotland. It was beautifully filmed, and the outfits they wore, the costumes they wore, were just so accurate.
Yes,
I must say, and I'm not making this up, I met Sam Heughan, the
you
actor who
did.
plays James. I met him when it was just getting going. I was in Glasgow, and he was in a supermarket buying some. He was in a food store buying a pizza actually, and I went up to him and asked him. I didn't ask him for an autograph. I wish I had, but I just said it was
Yes.
nice to meet you, Sam, and it's a good show, and I wish you all the best. And I just let him go. Nobody else knew who the Dickens he was.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh. Wow.
Really nice guy, very approachable, nice guy.
Yeah, he seems really nice. And I think that was part of, at least from some of the interviews, that he kind of felt like the story at times was getting too a little violent for his liking. And I have yet to watch the one where he did motorcycle or bike around
Yeah,
Scotland.
he's got a documentary out with the other guy, Donald McTavish, I think his name is, who was also in the show, traveling around Scotland and trying whiskey. He's actually that he has his own whiskey brand out called Sassenach.
Right.
Sassenach. Try saying that with a drink in you. That
Yeah,
that is a that's a word that's used in Outlander a lot. Sassenach.
that is.
It's a slightly derogatory term for somebody from England.
Oh, it is.
So there you are. Every day's a school day. But yeah, the Glasgow tour and Outlander was popular. But my background before I got into travel, I was in the whiskey industry.
Oh, you were? Okay.
So I thought my interest and my knowledge of whiskey would mean lots of people booking whiskey tours. But I must be doing something wrong because, or else Americans and Canadians, who most of my customers are, they don't drink as much whiskey as I thought they did.
Right, right. That's interesting. So what tour do you think you get that asked the most for now? Is it just a mix of things or?
Well, the bookings for this coming season are looking more history, Scottish history based, which is fine because that's my love as well. I put that ahead of whiskey. It's healthier. Uh, Scottish history is very interesting. I studied it when I was at university in Scotland many years ago, so I'm using that knowledge now. And I do day tours. Um, Say, for example, I would go to Stirling Castle, which is in the centre of
Yes.
Scotland, and it's got a lot of connections with not only Mary Queen of Scots, but William Wallace as well. And around in that area, a lot of things have happened in Scotland's history, and they're all very easy to get to. So you can do that in a day.
Oh,
But
wow.
if somebody wants, say they're really interested in Mary Queen of Scots, really interested, I would, and I've done this. I've put together a 3-day itinerary, taking them around the various places that Mary and her bad selection of boyfriends have been. So yeah, History's popular.
Yeah, history is popular. You don't hear as much about Loch Ness. Do people want to see Loch Ness and the whole Nessie thing? Is that still a thing?
It is a thing. I was watching a documentary last week about it. Not only is there's something there, of course there's something there. uh, very important for the Scottish tourism industry.
Right.
People do still like to travel by Loch Ness. It's very busy at certain times of the year, and the roads aren't the best. But it's three hours drive from Edinburgh, where most incoming tourists tend to stay or certainly fly into. And it's the same. It's 3 hours from Glasgow, and it's in the Highlands. So passing by Loch Ness is you have to do it, and everybody does always look out for something. It's a bit like barefoot in the States, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a bit like I've got an awful feeling all it is a very, very large eel.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. So,
Hopefully a family, because I'd hate to be living the lonely life there on my own. But once you get further up and further west, that's in my opinion the most attractive part of Scotland, the
yeah.
Western Isles. So yeah, it's from a personal point of view, I've enjoyed it. I get a kick out of it as well as my guests do. The
Yeah.
other subject I offer are golf tours, golf trips.
Oh.
Whiskey and golf are very they're part of Scotland's makeup, and I take a lot of people to St Andrews, which is the home of golf. All these places are quite easy to get to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the US. In Scotland, if we had to drive 5 hours, we would be. How long? Are we there yet? But it's a very small country. Very
Right.
small.
But you do have islands too, as well, which I think a lot of people forget about the little
That,
islands.
I think there's over 100 of various sizes. Unfortunately, our ferry system isn't what it should be. Um, but if we ever get that right, and we can get more people there, costing less money, it's something we should work on. Scottish government realises that tourism is probably our number two industry behind whisky.
Oh,
So
really? Oh,
we need
wow.
to get people to visit these islands. I've been to a few. Um, Iona springs to mind as a beautiful small island to get to. It's you feel as if you're in a different world, although it's easier to get to than some. And that's what they say was the cradle of Christianity. That's where it was apparently introduced to Scotland. So Iona, I would certainly put that down as one of the most interesting places to visit, but not too far from where I actually live, near Glasgow. There's some islands you can get to very quickly.
Oh,
One is called Arran, Arran, and it's a 1 hour ferry journey from a port not far from Glasgow. And once you're on the island, it's you feel as if again you're just so far away from everything. Island life, and they call Arran Scotland in miniature. So if you want to see valleys and mountains and two distilleries making whiskey and lovely little golf courses, lovely little coffee shops, art shops, art and craft.
wow.
Arran is really a worthwhile place to visit, and it's very easy to get to. So we've got everything apart from tropical weather.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't envision people wearing swimsuits much in Scotland. It's
So
just
it tends to be wetsuits to wear when they get in swimming, um, which is very popular right now, especially with ladies. They seem to be loving this open sea swimming, which
yeah,
looks
and
it
they
looks
also
painful.
right, and also this cold water. I've been hearing a lot about these cold water dips these ladies
Yeah,
like
that's
to
right.
do.
Rather them than me. No, if you want a suntan, maybe Scotland's not top of the list.
Right, right.
Uh, you'll get weather beaten, and you'll have a good laugh. You'll meet some interesting people. That is guaranteed.
What would you say about the Scottish food? What is your favorite Scottish food? Because I think a lot of us don't realize, what is
I think
Scottish food?
we've had a bad press over the years for our food. Um, some people's diets aren't the healthiest here, but there's some great restaurants and hotels to stay at. And I would say our seafood is as good as any country's seafood, and it's always easily obtainable. You don't have to spend a lot of money um, to get it. So I would put that up there. Our beef, Angus beef. Everybody's heard of the Angus cattle. That's from up north near Aberdeen. Steaks, fantastic. I would confidently say I could take some guests to a fine restaurant in almost any city in Scotland. Every town's got a good restaurant. There's also a lot of um, people have come and settled here from other countries like India, Pakistan, China. We've even got Mexican restaurants in Glasgow and Edinburgh now.
Really?
So
Oh, wow.
yes, yes. Come to Scotland and enjoy a burrito.
That's
Haggis is
interesting.
also haggis is our most commonly known food, not easily obtained in the US or Canada.
No. Uh-uh.
I believe there's a Mexican sort of dish very similar,
Oh,
but
interesting.
got to try haggis if you come to Scotland, even just a small amount.
Yes, I agree. You got to try what the locals eat. That's what I'm
Yeah,
always about. You got
but
to.
if you try what the locals eat, that might be a McDonald's
Oh, oh no.
or deep fried pizza. Scots don't have the greatest health record.
Oh, okay.
They've got adventurous palate, shall we say. It's not always good for them, but I think it's the weather. I think the
Yeah, I was
miserable
just
weather
gonna. I was gonna say. I think the weather it like keeps
is
you.
the same as the whiskey and the beer.
Yeah.
Everything is bad for you.
So, is there a favorite Scottish tradition?
Well, if you decided to come in the winter months, we do celebrate New Year in a big way.
Oh,
We call
really?
it we call New Year's Eve Hogmanay. Could you repeat that for me?
Hogmanay?
That's good. That was good. Hogmanay means that it's an old Scottish word for New Year's Eve, and that's when the bells ring, same as they do in all parts of the world. Um, it's a happy new year, and many drinks are drunk. There's dancing and music right through for the next couple of days. Scotland has two bank holidays after Hogmanay to recover from the
Oh,
party.
two. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we tend to do everything in excess, but that's a very popular time of year, and of course, it's commemorated by everybody singing a well-known song, which is actually this next to Happy Birthday. This song, written by Robert Burns, is the most popular song in the whole world.
Really?
And it's called Auld Lang Syne.
Oh, Old Lang Syne. Okay.
There you go. A Scotsman brought that to the world.
Yeah, that's right. I had not remembered that part.
Yeah, Robert Burns.
I did hear that Hogmanay there were a lot of bonfires. Am I wrong in
Yeah,
that?
there are, and fireworks. They're now very carefully controlled by the towns. But Edinburgh, the capital, it has the biggest New Year's or Hogmanay party, and people have been coming to enjoy it, endure it sometimes because the weather can be pretty bad for many years now. It's an all ticket affair, and they come from all over the world to visit Edinburgh at New Year.
Not
Yeah,
something not where you'll be found, I take
but
it.
as Edinburgh, we know we have a. They say that there's a saying about Edinburgh and Glasgow. Um, Something about Glasgow. You have more fun at a wake in Glasgow than you would have at a party in Edinburgh.
Oh, wow.
Took me a while to remember that there, but that's that's what they say. But I do take tourists to Edinburgh, and I know quite a bit about the city. Just that we're always poking fun at each other. There must be equivalents all over the world. Two cities,
Yeah, two
40
cities.
yeah, they're only 40 miles apart, Edinburgh and Glasgow, but they
Uh,
are they are
that's
different. They're so different in every way.
yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize they were so close in distance.
Yeah, there's a highway, and it takes 45 minutes to get from one to the other.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about
Mm.
the train system? Does Scotland have a pretty good train system?
My opinion, we do when there's not industrial action. In the last year, there's been problems with the trains, but hopefully this year it's going to get sorted out a little bit better. There'll be less strikes, but yes, it's a very good system. It's not overly expensive. Um, Even up to the Highlands by train to Inverness,
Oh,
and there's little that go off to different places. I, I I quite often take tourists on the Jacobite Express, which is a railway journey from Fort William. That was bigger than Outlander series. Fort William. It takes you to a place called Mallaig in this very old train. That's very popular with tourists, and it takes you past Glenfinnan Viaduct, which is a beautiful, beautiful place, and it's also for Harry Potter fans. It's an area that might look familiar because the Jacobite Express was used
right.
in Harry Potter movies.
Yes.
But yeah, there's good train system, good coach system as well, good coach services.
Oh,
If
nice.
yeah, so no, it's easy to get around. Um, Apart from, excuse me, that's my assistant.
Yeah, your assistant. He's
It's easy to get around apart from the ferries to get to the most obscure islands, but you can take a small plane, a short plane ride that can take you to a lot of islands as well.
oh, nice.
It's a small country.
Right, right. Well, tell us again, because I guess he's your timekeeper. He's like, hey, it's 11. It's
I
time
must
is
have been.
up.
Yeah, well, I think I'm 7 years ahead, 7 hours ahead of you here, so it's dinner time for Cooper.
Right.
But Cooper has actually been on a tour with me, for a young American couple um, wanted to go on a hike. There you go.
Right.
And so I said, well, that's nice. I've never been asked to do that. So I did an itinerary for a hike. They were coming here on a cruise ship, so they only
Right.
had one day, and they heard the dog barking in the background like this, and they said, "You got a dog?" I said, "Yep." "Why don't you bring him?" And before you knew it, Cooper was on the trip with us, and he behaved himself very well.
Oh, nice. Well, that's great. He probably knew the way. He probably just like
Yes,
hang on to
he went
Cooper and
through.
he'll lead you on the hike and get you back to
He
the
got, a,
van.
got a very, he got a very good gratuity.
Yeah, that's good. Well, hey, Ian, where can people find your Scotland trips or reach out to you if they want you to design something special for
Yeah,
them?
yes. Email me, and you can get my email address on my website, which is bucketlestscotland.net. I hope I pronounced that right. I hope you're all understanding my accent.
Yes.
Bucketlestscotland.net. And you can find me on Facebook as well under Bucket List Scotland. So, if you've got any long held desires or things you want to do in Scotland, let me know and I'll see what I can do.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Ian. This has been a pleasure. And hopefully I'll be joining you in Scotland.
Nice to meet you in person, April. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Thank you.
Bye.